Hello and welcome back to my series in creating Star Wars characters in D&D. Today we are going to be doing Han and Chewie, and I think you're going to be quite happy with Han and Chewie. I'm not going to go with just one character, we're actually going to have the first character to be multi-classing, so let's get stuck into this, okay? To begin with, we have to do the rules of the build. So the rules we are going to be running with today is the characters will be an interpretation, not an accurate representation. Now obviously they're in Star Wars, you have, faster than light ships, laser pistols, all that sort of stuff. What we're going to be interpreting is the characters will still have the Millennium Falcon, but it is a wagon. The characters will be using ranged weapons, but they will be crossbows, that sort of stuff. So we are not going to be using any homebrew. Everything will be from the locked off rules found in the D&D books. The only non-Wizard of the Coast book will be the Tal'Dorei campaign that came out from Critical Role in Green Ronin. We're probably not going to be using any of the rules today, but we have used them previously, mainly the dual casting feat that we got with, I think it was Anakin, Obi-Wan. Basically it lets you concentrate on multiple feats. That's found in the Tal'Dorei campaign setting. Okay. We'll be using the ability score table for starting scores instead of rolling them. So that means we get to choose 15, 14, 13, 12, 10 and 8 and put them wherever we want. Okay, and we will not be using the firearms variant for the rules in the Dungeon Master's Guide. This is mainly because I want to keep these as a fantasy interpretation, not just decide, oh well, he's got a laser pistol, I'm going to use the firearms variant and give him a laser pistol. Let's try and keep it all fully fantasy and see if we can reimagine all these guys in fantasy. Okay, and we'll be working from the following books: The Player's Handbook, Mythic Odysseys of Theros, and Eberron Rising from the Last War. Those are the only rule books you need. So let's get started. The very first one is Han Solo. So what is Han's background? Well, his race, he is going to be a variant human from the Player's Handbook. This is going to give him 2 ability score increases, and we're going to be putting 1 in dexterity, 1 in charisma. We're going to have a size of medium, a base walking speed of 30 feet. We're going to get a free skill, which is going to be animal handling. This is going to let him use the Millennium Falcon a lot better, because the Millennium Falcon is technically going to be a smuggler's wagon, not a spaceship, and you need animal handling to be able to maneuver wagons. We're going to get the lucky feat. This I felt really emphasized Han. You can see he has a lucky set of dice, I think it is, in the Millennium Falcon cockpit. This is just going to give him the whole luck feeling. So what this does is you have inexplicable luck that seems to kick in just at the right moment. You have 3 luck points. Whenever you make an attack roll, ability check or saving throw, you can spend 1 luck point to roll an additional d20. You can choose to spend 1 of your luck points after you roll the dice, but before the outcome is determined. You choose which of the d20s is used for the attack roll, ability check or saving throw, and you can also spend 1 luck point when an attack is rolled against you. Roll a d20, then choose whether the attack uses the attacker's or yours. If more than 1 creature spends a luck point to influence the outcome, the points cancel each other out and no additional dice are rolled, and you gain them all back after a long rest. So effectively this gives you 3 times where you can get advantage on any 3 rolls, and you get to choose, well, you get advantage effectively. It's just a really nice little feat that gives Han just that little oomph of luck when he needs it. Okay, the languages he can speak in read and write is Common and Shiriwok, which is going to be the Wookiee language. I really don't know how to pronounce that. Sorry if I'm getting it wrong, but there we go. Right, Han, his background is going to be a charlatan, once again from the Player's Handbook. Okay, so he's going to get the skill proficiencies of Deception and Sleight of Hand. His tool proficiency is going to be a Disguise kit and a Forgery kit. He's going to get a favourite scheme, which is I shave coins or forge documents. And he's going to get the feature false identity. You have created a second identity that includes documentation, established acquaintances, and disguises that allows you to assume a persona. Additionally, you can forge documents, including official papers and personal letters, as long as you have seen an example of the kind of documents or the handwriting you are trying to copy. This is going to effectively let him be a decent smuggler. He can pull out fake documents to be able to get into a town or a city to smuggle in his wares. Alright, and his personality trait is going to be flattery. Is my preferred trick to getting what I want, and sarcasm and insults are my weapons of choice. That kind of sounds really like Han. Okay, his ideal is going to be I am a free spirit and no one tells me what to do. His bond, I fleeced the wrong person and must work to ensure that this individual never crosses paths with me or those I care about. The person he is going to be fleecing from is obviously going to be the big giant slug on Tatooine. I have got a complete memory blank and I just can't remember what his name is. Nope, I've totally lost it. How's that for really bad? I've watched the movie so often and I can't even remember the slug's name. And floor, I can't resist a pretty face. Okay, Jabba the Hutt, that's it, it is Jabba the Hutt. I knew I was going to remember it. So he fleeced Jabba the Hutt and he's trying to make sure that Jabba never crosses paths with him. Alright, we are going to go with his class. Now I guess you guys kind of guessed what he's going to be to start off with, and that is a rogue. He is a scoundrel, a rogue. You know, rogue just seems to fit with him really well. So, with that, we are going to get hit points at first level is going to be 8 plus your constitution. He is going to have proficiency with light armor, and simple weapons, hand crossbows, long swords, rapiers, and short swords. Okay, he's going to have thieves' tools, and a save and throw of dexterity and intelligence. His skills is going to be chosen from acrobatics, athletics, deception, insight, intimidation, investigation, perception, performance, persuasion, sleight of hand, and stealth. It is a huge amount that rogues get access to, and the good thing is you get to choose 4 of them. So we're going to choose investigation, perception, persuasion, and stealth. Okay, next part of this is going to be his expertise. So at level 1, rogues get expertise, which is you choose 2 proficiencies or one of your skill proficiencies and proficiencies with thieves' tools. Your proficiency bonus is doubled for any checks you make. And at level 6 we can choose 2 more. So to begin with, a proficiency is 2. That means the 2 that we get to choose is going to be sitting at +4. Okay, and we also get sneak attack, which effectively means once per turn we can deal 1d6 damage to a creature that you hit if you have advantage on the attack roll. The weapon must be a finesse or range weapon, and you don't need advantage on the attacker if another enemy is within 5 feet of it. That enemy isn't incapacitated and you don't have disadvantage on the roll. Okay, we also know Thieves' Cant. Thieves' Cant is basically a language that you can use to communicate with thieves. It really doesn't come up too much. I think I've had one rogue play in a campaign I was DMing and it popped up twice. Alright, the very last ability thing we need to do is choose our ability scores, which will be strength. We're going to put our 8 in. That's going to be mostly our dump stat. Dexterity is going to be 15, so that goes up to 16 with our +1 in it. Constitution of 12, intelligence of 14, wisdom of 10, and charisma of 13, which is going to go up to 14 with our extra +1 in it. The equipment we're going to have is studded leather, which will give us a +12, a 12 plus our dex modifier for armor, and it's going to give us, we're going to have the hand crossbow, which is a 1d6 piercing. It uses ammunition, which means it must be loaded. It's light and it's loading. So the loading feature is actually quite an important one. It basically means we have to spend a turn loading it. So it sounds bad, but we're going to pretty much be able to get around that fairly soon. Alright, so this is our Han Solo level 1. We can see we have an armor class of 15, our initiative of +3. You can see dexterity saving throw is +5 and intelligence +4. And we have expertise of animal handling, which gives us a +4 on using the Millennium Falcon. And we've chosen deception, which will give us a +6 on that. Then we have investigation of +4, perception +2, persuasion +4, and sleight of hand and stealth a +5. We're going to have a 12 passive wisdom. Our primary attack is the hand crossbow, which we can fire, then load, then fire. It's going to be attacking at a +5, doing 1d6 +3 damage, and we get a sneak attack of 1d6. Okay, we have all of our proficiencies there, and that's kind of it. I've written down false identity, but that's all we get at level 1. So let's start leveling up this character, shall we? Okay, level 2, we are going to get cunning action. Starting at level 2, your quick thinking and agility allows you to move and act quickly. You can take a bonus action on each of your turns. This action can only be used to dash, disengage, or hide. It's a standard rogue ability. It kind of suits him. He's able to quickly get in and out of combat. You know, pretty nice. Level 3, we're going to get our first archetype, which is going to be Assassin. So the key reason I've chosen Assassin over much else will be for the Assassinate reason. But let's see. Assassin, you focus your training on the grim art of death. Those who adhere to this archetype are diverse. Hired killers, spies, bounty hunters. He's not really a bounty hunter. I would kind of call him a spy, but he is more a smuggler. But anyway, even specially anointed priests trained to eliminate or exterminate the enemies of their deity. Stealth, poison, and disguise help you eliminate your foes with deadly efficiency. Your bonus proficiency is going to be Disguise Kit and Poisoner's Kit. I don't believe I actually ended up writing them into there. That's bad of me. Oh well. This is the key ability, Assassinate. Starting at 3rd level, you are at your deadliest when you get the drop on your enemies. You have advantage on attack rolls against any creature that hasn't taken turn in combat. That's going to give you a guaranteed sneak attack. In addition, any hits you score against the creature that is surprised is technically a critical hit. Now, the whole thing of Han or Greedo shot first, this basically lets Han shoot first. So Han rolls higher on his initiative. He gets the very first shot. He adds his 1d6 of his sneak attack damage as well as critical. So his very first shot, if we jump back to his character, it is going to be 1d6 plus 1d6 plus a further 2 1d6, because criticals you double the dice roll, plus 3. So that gives you, what is it? Somewhere between 24 plus your 3 damage as a surprise attack on the critical, or you could go right down to a minimum of 4 plus 3. I mean, minimum of 7 damage is not too bad on a 1 attack, and that's if you rolled 4 1s. Your average will probably be sitting at around the 20-ish damage on 1 attack. That is really powerful. Plus, your sneak attack at this stage will actually be going to 2d6. So that changes the math once again. If we change that sneak attack to 2d6, that is going to give us 1d6 plus 2d6, which is 3d6. Double that for 6d6 plus 3 damage. On 1 attack, that's why Han shot first and was able to kill Greedo straight away. Alright, level 4. This is going to be our very first multiclass. He's actually going to multiclass into an Artificer. So the old saying that any form of advanced technology is indistinguishable from magic, this is sort of emphasizing on that. He uses lots of technology, and that comes across as magic in the form of an Artificer multiclass. So as part of our multi-class, what we get is an armor proficiency of medium armor and shields. We get skill proficiency of investigation. We get tool proficiency of Tinkerer's Tools, and we get the following two spells. The cantrips of guidance, so that's going to basically let him use his little PDA or pad, whatever, and go beep 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 on it and give him an extra bonus on any skill checks that he's going to use. Yeah, it kind of fits the whole, looking something up to do it, or to do something, looking at Google to try and work out how to do something. And then message. This is going to let him send messages from a distance, which, once again, technology, hyperspace relays, all that sort of stuff, it kind of fits in with that. First level, we're going to get an alarm ritual and an identify ritual. Now, rituals can be cast without using spell slots, but it takes 10 minutes. This is going to allow him to set up a alarmed item. So, if the Millennium Falcon is sitting there and someone tries to open it, it's going to alarm and he will know about it. And identify is just, once again, him spending time to look up Prophet Google, see what something is, and be able to match it to that. Okay, we are also going to get magical tinkering. At first level, you know how to invest a spark of magic into mundane objects. To use this ability, you must have Tinkerer's Tools or other artisan tools in your hand. Now, this has changed in the latest errata that came out a few days ago to say Tinkerer's Tools or Thieves' Tools. And as he has Thieves' Tools, that's pretty handy. When you touch a teeny non-magical object, such as an action, you can give it one of the following magical properties of your choice. The object sheds a bright light in a 5-foot radius and a dim light for another 5 feet, i.e. he gets a torch. Whenever tapped by a creature, the object emits a recorded message that can be heard up to 10 feet away. That's like a holocron recording. The object continuously emits your choice of an odor or a non-verbal sound. That would be a sonic emitter that I don't think I've seen him use in the movies, but in some games he does. And then a static or visual effect appears on the object's surface. Once again, another little hollow emitter. Okay, the chosen property lasts indefinitely. As an action, you can touch the object and end it, so you can turn your torch on and off again. You can bestow the magic on multiple items, touch in one object each time you use this feature. Although a single object can only be a one property at a time. The maximum number of objects you can affect with this is equal to your intelligence modifier, so this will be 2 objects he can make. If you try and exceed it, the oldest property immediately ends, so you can have 2 items that he can magically tinker with. And he gets spell casting. This is the same as most other spell casters. To begin with, 2 cantrips and 2 spell slots. The spells this artificers are kind of like clerics and druids. They have access to the full spell list. They just know a limited amount of spells from it. So that amount is intelligence modifier plus half your artificer level rounded down. That will give us 2, which is why we had 2 to begin with. And intelligence is our spellcasting ability. Save is 8 plus your proficiency plus your intelligence, and attack modifier is your proficiency plus intelligence. He also gets ritual casting. Right, level 5, we're going to continue with Artificer. That's going to give us an Artificer of level 2. So we get to infuse an item. At second level, you get the ability to imbue mundane items with certain magical infusions. The magical item you create with this feature are effective prototypes of permanent items. So the infusions we are going to know is Enhanced Defense. We're going to actually use this on our defense. This creature, which is us, gets a +1 bonus to armor class while wearing our armor. So our armor is effectively +1. Okay, Enhanced Weapon. We can use this, but we're probably not going to. This will just help us out occasionally. This weapon grants a +1 bonus to attack and damage rolls made with it. This bonus is increased to +10 when you reach Artificer level 10. Sorry, +2. Repeating shot, this is what we're going to do on our crossbow, and this is why we don't need to take crossbow expert. Okay, a simple or martial weapon with the ammunition property, i.e. our hand crossbow. This magical weapon gets a +1 bonus to attack and damage rolls when made with it. It ignores the loading property if it has it, so we no longer have to load the weapon. We can just load it as a free action instead of having to take a whole turn to load it. And if you have no ammunition in the weapon, it produces its own, automatically creating 1 piece of magical ammunition when you make a ranged attack. So effectively, if we get some multiple attacks per turn, we can just shoot twice with it. This is about as close as I can come up with on how to make a blaster pistol with multi-fire ability within D&D. Okay, and we get to replicate a magic item. Using this infusion, you replicate a particular magical item. So we're going to choose Goggles of the Knight. So if he doesn't need his armor, he can deactivate the enchantment on his armor and activate it on Goggles of the Knight, which gives him dark vision, and I think maybe a +1 to perception rolls. Alright, at level 6, because we are level 2, remember the thing is intelligence plus half your level rounded down. Half of 2 is 1, so we get another spell of Fairy Fire. Fairy Fire is quite a nice spell. You cast it on something. If it goes invisible, i.e. if it has a cloak and shield, then it glows in a bit of fire around it. So it effectively lets us be able to see stealth objects. Quite a nice utility spell, and this will be the primary spell we cast, as the rest are rituals. Okay, level 6, we're taking Artificer level 3. This is going to let us take our very first Artificer specialist, which is an artillerist. The artillerist specializes in using magic to hurl energy, projectiles, and explosions onto the battlefield. Okay, we get woodcarver's tools as a tool proficiency, so this will let us carve little intricate details into our crossbow, make it quite a nice little crossbow. We get artillerist spells, so we get to cast Shield and Thunderwave. We get Eldritch Cannon. At 3rd level, you learn to create a magical cannon. Using the woodcarver's tools or smith tools, you can take an action to magically create a small or teeny Eldritch Cannon. Effectively, when we go down to it, this cannon, you can heal it, it sits in your hand, it's like summoning or creating a tiny little blaster, so we can effectively dual wield. We can have our magic crossbow that continuously shoots, or we can have our little Eldritch Cannon. And we'll be doing Force Ballista, make a ranged spell attack originating from the cannon, i.e. from our hand, at 1 creature or object within 120 feet. On a hit, the target takes 2d8 force damage, and if the target is a creature, it is pushed up to 5 feet away. So this will give us 2 pistols. One will be a multi-shot ability or a rapid-fire crossbow, and then the other one will be a nice high-powered blaster gun. Okay, level 7. We are actually going to get our 4th level of Artificer. This will give us an ability score improvement, which will be pumping Dexterity up to 18. And we're going to get the spell Disguise Self. Okay, at level 8, we're going to go to Rogue level 4. This is going to give us, once again, another ability score improvement. So we're going to put our Dexterity right up to 20. Alright, the last thing we need is level 9 Rogue, which will be at, a level 5 Rogue at level 9. This is going to give us a sneak attack of 1d6 extra, giving us a total of 3d6. We're also going to get Uncanny Dodge. Starting at 5th level, when an attack that you can see hits you, you can use your reaction to half the damage against it. And at level 10, we'll be taking Rogue level 6, which gives us expertise in Perception and Persuasion. So if we jump over to Han level 12, we can see we now have a Dexterity of 20. That is going to be giving us a +9 on our proficiency on our saving throw, and with our proficiency a +4, a intelligence save of +6. Okay, we're going to end up with 90 hit points because we get 9 per level. That doesn't change. All of this stuff stays the same. We will be getting a sneak attack of 3d6. The repeating shorthand crossbow is attuned to us, so that's just, we're no longer ever going to have to load up any ammo. We have an attack bonus of plus 10 on our crossbow, which will be doing 1d6 plus 6 damage, plus our 3d6 if we have critical sneak attacks. And Force Ballista will only hit on a plus 6, but it will do 2d8. Once again, that can be used with sneak attack. Alright, we can see animal handling, so we are plus 8 for using the Millennium Falcon. That is very nice. We're also going to have deception of plus 10. That's going to let us deceive people, tell them that we've got the stuff in our hold, but we really don't. We're also going to have a persuasion of the same thing. We can convince people that we're good for it. We will come and pay you. All that sort of cool stuff that Han is very renowned for doing. And we're going to have a perception of plus 8. So it's going to give us a passive wisdom bonus of 18. Alright, the primary, I've loaded these in here. The primary abilities we'll be using will be repeating shot and armor. So I've already included the armor into our armor class, giving us an armor class of 18, an initiative of plus 5. And I've already loaded all of the stats into there for our repeating shot. Okay, so this is Han Solo at level 10. Now I think it's time we have a look at Chewbacca. So, Chewie. His race is Leonin. Leonin. Yeah. This comes from the Mythic Odysseys of Theros. This basically is like a cat. It's not a tabaxi, it is more a lion type cat. So tabaxis are more like your house cat type race. These guys are more like your wild cats. And I kind of think it looks similar. I mean, if you could imagine a bipedal lion, would you see Chewie? Okay, that is going to give us an ability score increase of Constitution by 2 and Strength by 1. Our size is going to be medium. Our speed is going to be 35 feet. Chewie is a lot faster. We're going to have dark vision, so that's going to be very, very handy. We're going to have claws, which is going to be a special attack. It'll do 1d4 plus our strength modifier, and it's going to be piercing instead of bludgeoning. Or is it slashing? Sorry, slashing instead of bludgeoning. We're going to have Hunter's Instinct, which will give us proficiency in athletics, intimidation, perception, or survival. We're choosing intimidation and perception. We're going to have Daunting Roar. As a bonus action, you can let out an especially menacing roar. Creatures of your choice within 10 feet of you that can hear you must save on a wisdom saving throw or become frightened of you until your next turn. The DC of the save is equal to 8 plus your proficiency bonus plus your constitution modifier. Once you use this trait, you can't use it again until you finish a short or long rest. Now, you've seen many times Chewie roars and the droid runs away. This is pretty much perfect for him. He can do that with anything. I've seen him roar at other stuff, or other Chewies have a mighty roar and things just run away from him, them in fear. We can also speak the languages of Common, and it's technically Leonin, but I'm going to make that the Wookiee language once again. Alright, our background is going to be Outlander. So this is from the player's handbook. We're going to have skill proficiency in athletics and survival. That's why we didn't choose them previously. We're going to have tool proficiency of 1 musical instrument. Now, I didn't write this down. You can actually choose a horn, I would recommend, because that, the Wookiees have a special horn type instrument which comes from a Bathster tusk or something like that. Language is going to be droid speak, and the feature is Wanderer. You have an excellent memory for maps and geography. You can always recall the general layout of terrain, settlements, and other features around you. In addition, you can find food and fresh water for yourself and up to 5 other people each day, provided that the land offers berries, small game, water, and so forth. This just ties into the whole nature aspect of Chewbacca. Personality trait, I'm driven by wanderlust that led me to away from home. That's why he left his home planet. And I watch over my friends as if they were my newborn pups. Okay, ideal is honour. If I dishonour myself, I dishonour my whole clan. Bond is my family, clan, or tribe is the most important thing to my life, even when they are far from me. If you've ever watched the Star Wars Christmas special, you will see what I mean. Don't watch the Star Wars Christmas special. Just a warning, do not bother watching it. Okay, the flaw is violence, is my answer to almost any challenge. That ties into when C-3PO and Chewie are playing that chess game, and Han tells C-3PO to let Chewie win, because if he doesn't win, he will tear Chewie's arms off. He will tear C-3PO's arms off. Alright, and his class is going to be Fighter from the Player's Handbook. Hit points is 10 plus Constitution. Armor is all armor, however we're going to keep it to studded leather. You can see what he's wearing there. It's more like a bandolier with a couple of energy cells in it. I'm just going to count that as studded leather. Weapons will be simple weapons and martial weapons. Tools are none. Saving throws are strength and constitution. And skills will be animal handling and insight we're choosing. We get this long line here. Most of them we already have. So animal handling is because he can pilot the Millennium Falcon. And insight is quite a nice little ability. Just, he can read people rather well. Throughout the movies, he was always the one who could read the best in people. He would know if someone is lying, that sort of stuff. That's one of the things Han survived on him for. Fighting style is actually going to be archery. You gain a +2 bonus to attack rolls made with ranged weapons. He also gets second winds. You have a limited well of stamina that you can draw on to protect yourself. Okay, every short rest you can regain hit points equal to 1d10 plus your fighter level. So that's minimum of 2, maximum of 11 at level 1. Now, what else do we get? Our ability scores. This is how I'm putting them out. I'm going to put strength of 13, which will give us a total strength of 14 with our Leonin ability. Dexterity of 15. Constitution 14. That's going to go up to 16 with our Leonin. Intelligence of 10. Wisdom of 12. Charisma of 8. For some reason, people were afraid of Wookiees, and therefore they would not like Wookiees. Most people thought of them as just, orcs effectively. Okay, our equipment is going to have studded leather armor, 12 plus our dex modifier, and our weapon is going to be a heavy crossbow, which will be 1d10 piercing. Once again, it uses the loading. It is also a two-handed weapon, so you must have two hands in order to use it. And being heavy, smaller creatures cannot actually use it. He is also going to use the maul. A maul is basically like a quarterstaff, just a heavier version of it. Often Wookiees are depicted as having giant metal mauls that were made of a certain element that could in fact deflect lightsaber blows. That one is 2d6 bludgeoning, heavy, so once again small creatures can't use it, and it is a two-handed weapon. Okay, level 2. He is going to get Action Surge. Starting at level 2, you can push yourself beyond your normal limits for a moment. On your turn, you can take one additional action to top up and a bonus action. So once you use this feature, so it effectively just lets you make another action once per short rest. What I did forget to do, however, is jump over and show you Chewie at level 2. Let's do that now. So I'm a class of 14, initiative +2, strength of a +4 proficiency. Constitution is actually pretty high. That is going to give him 13 hit points. His heavy crossbow is going to attack on a +6 and do 1d10 +2 damage. His maul and a claws are going to attack on a +4. The maul is going to do 2d6 +2 and the claws 1, that's meant to be D, 1d4 +3. Okay, he's going to get Dark Vision Claws, Daunting Roar, Wanderer, and Archery Style. I've put them all down here for you. Somebody keeps pinging me on Discord. Alright. Back to level 2. So that is what we're going to get at level 2 is Action Surge. Level 3, we are actually going to choose our fighter subclass. So we are going to choose Battle Master. Those who emulate the archetypical Battle Master employ martial techniques passed down through generations. To a Battle Master, combat is an academic field, sometimes including subjects beyond battles such as weaponsmithing and calligraphy. Alright, with this we will get combat superiority. So when you choose this archetype at 3rd level, you learn maneuvers that are fueled by specialty dice called superiority dice. The maneuvers, we get 3 maneuvers of our choice, then we learn 2 at level 7 and 2 more at level 10. Alright, superiority dice, you have 4 superiority dices of d8s. A superiority dice is expended when you use it. You regain all of your superiority dice on a short rest. You gain another one at level 7. Saving throws, so the DC for any saving throws, if it requires it, will be 8 plus your proficiency plus either your strength or dexterity. Okay, at level 3 we are going to have Student of War as well. So we gain, this is part of Battle Master, we gain a proficiency of one type of artisan tools. So we're going to take Carpenter tools. This is going to let Chewie repair the Millennium Falcon a little better. The maneuvers we're going to choose are Precision Attack and Pushing Attack. I was meant to choose a third one. I did not choose a third one. Not that it matters. These are the 2 primary ones we'll use. So Precision Attack. When you make a weapon attack roll against a creature, you can expend 1 superiority dice and add it to the roll. You can use this maneuver before or after making the attack, but before any effects are applied. So you can roll the dice and you're like, dang, I need just 2 more in order to hit that person. You can choose to roll one of your d8s. The chances of you getting that are pretty good. Or you can use a pushing attack. When you hit a creature with the weapon attack, you can expend 1 superiority dice and attempt to drive the target back. You add the superiority dice to the attack's damage roll, and if the target is large or smaller, it must make a strength saving throw against your DC. On a failed save, you push it 15 feet away from you. This is effectively him powering up his heavy crossbow, firing it, and it blows someone back. We've seen that, I believe it was on the Battle of Endor. Okay, level 4, we are actually going to choose an ability score improvement. We're going to choose the crossbow feat. Now, the key reason for this is you ignore the loading qualities of crossbows for which you are proficient. We were proficient with the heavy crossbow, so this means we no longer have to spend an entire action reloading it. Also, being within 5 feet of a hostile creature doesn't impose disadvantage on our ranged attack rolls. Now, I'll show you loading. This is where I was also meant to show it before, but because of the time required to load this weapon, it can only fire 1 piece of ammunition from it when you use an action, bonus action, or reaction, regardless of the number of attacks you can normally make. This effectively ignores this whole thing with usual items that require some sort of ammunition. It is a free action to reload it. This effectively makes it a free action to load, so with his multiple attacks, he can now shoot twice per turn. Alright, and that is going to be level 5, proficiency bonus of +1, and his extra attack. So this is why we chose Crossbow Expert. He can now attack twice, so he can shoot his crossbow twice per turn. Okay, level 6, we are going to get the feat Resilient. So we choose 1 ability score. You gain, I don't know why it puts V in. V is quite some distance away from Y, but it seems to do it. But anyway, you gain the following benefits. Increase the chosen ability score by 1 to a maximum of 20. So we're going to choose Dexterity, which will put it up to a 16, giving us a +3 on it. And you gain proficiency saving throws on that chosen ability. Level 7, we are going to have our first Battle Master, well, our second Battle Master upgrade, Know Your Enemy. Starting at 7th level, you can spend at least 1 minute observing or interacting with another creature outside of combat. So this leads into when he's ambushing someone, he can spend some time ambushing that creature. With it, he gets to learn some information about it. You get to choose 2 of the following: its strength score, dexterity score, constitution score, armor class, hit points, total class levels, and fighter class levels. Also at level 7, Battle Mastery, we get +1 superiority dice, giving us 5. We get 2 more maneuvers, so I'm going to choose Menacing Attack. When you hit a creature with a weapon attack, you can expend 1 superiority dice to frighten the target. And then Trip Attack. When you hit the creature with a weapon, you can expend 1 superiority dice to knock the target down. If you succeed, the target goes prone. And then level 8, we're going to get next ability score improvement. I'm going to choose Dexterity, giving us a Dexterity of 18 total. Level 9, our proficiency bonus goes up, and we get Indomitable. Beginning at 9th level, you can re-roll a saving throw that you fail. If you do so, you must use the new roll. It's not quite advantage, but it's good. Okay, and the last one, level 10, we're going to get Battle Mastery, Improved Combat Superiority. Okay, so our dice move up to D10s instead of D8s. We get 2 more maneuvers, which is Disarming Attack. When you hit a creature with a weapon, you can expend 1 use to attempt to disarm the target, forcing it to drop the item of your choice that it's holding, i.e. you can shoot weapons out of its hand. And we're going to use Evasive Footwork. When you move, you can expend 1 superiority dice, rolling the dice and adding the number to your armor class until you stop moving. So this is going to give us Chewie, level 10. He's going to have an 18 dexterity, giving us +4. He's actually going to have 3 saving throws, so dexterity is +8, strength of +6, and constitution of +7. Just going to grab a drink. Okay, hit points maximum will be 130. Now I'm just giving him the standard 13 per turn, which is 10 plus his constitution. Armor class will be sitting at 16. Because dexterity has gone up a bit. Okay. Animal handling, he's not quite as good a pilot as Han, but he still has a pretty decent animal handling, so he can still drive the Millennium Falcon should it be needed. He is going to have insight, intimidation, perception, and survival. This will give him a passive perception of 15. Alright, his heavy crossbow attack bonus has gone up to +10. It's doing 1d10 +4. That's not counting adding any superiority dice. So you can choose a superiority dice and add it to the attack bonus, or add it to the damage. His maul and his claws are going to go up to +6 each because they are based on strength, not dexterity. So the maul will do 2d6 plus 2 bludgeoning, and the claws are going to be 1d4 plus 2 slashing. Alright, we can see what he is good at. I did actually write that one there. The Kashyyyk Clarion is the horn. He also has carpenter's tools for repairing the Millennium Falcon. And we can see I've written down everything he gets up here. He is not going to have a huge amount of spells because he's not a spellcaster. So, yeah. Speed of 35, I'm quite happy with that. Initiative of... I put it at 8. I don't know if initiative uses proficiency. I think it does because he's dexterity, which kind of means that should be sitting at +9. So there we go. Han has even better initiative because he has... I don't remember the rules. I will have to check it. Maybe that is +5, and Chewie's one is +4. Okay, I did also forget to go over Han, his spells. I didn't do the free 2 that you get, so what was that? That was Shield. And I can't remember the other one. I don't really think it matters too much. Well, let's have a look. Okay, so Han gets 2-1 class fighter. So we go all the way back. infusions, spells. Wasn't Artificer level 2, it was, here we go, Thunder Wave, that was it. So he has 3 spell slots total. He'll probably be using Fairy Fire the most, but he can occasionally bring up a shield if he wants to. Those 2 are rituals, so he very rarely uses them as actual spells. And he has Guidance as Message as his cantrip. Okay, and that takes us all the way through Han and Chewie. I think they are about as close as you can get to actual D&D characters, or, you know, an interpretation of fantasy characters based off a sci-fi setting. So thank you for watching. Yeah, this has been a fun, quick little build. Next week we will be... I don't think we're going to do much more D&D ones. I've actually had a couple of requests, so we're going to look at doing Sonic the Hedgehog or Link from the Zelda series. I'm not sure which particular one we will be doing, but, you know, I'll post about that later. So don't forget to like, share and subscribe if you like all this content. You can visit us on patreon.com/hippohq if you want to help support the channel. You can also visit us on facebook.com/hippohq to get more news and interact with us on Facebook. I do have a Discord server which will be in the information. I'll also be putting all of these character sheets up there so you can download them and play them at will. Yeah, thank you for joining in. Don't forget, like, subscribe, and join us on Wednesday nights when we run our podcast, the XboxCast, where we talk about all things Xbox, which is going to be especially fun now that the Series X is out. We're all going to be raving on about how well the Xbox runs. So, thank you and farewell.